you for watching and listening. Lots to get into today. Unadilla this weekend. Yeah, lots to talk about when it comes to Unadilla. Look, the championships are pretty much set here with Deegs and Jet, but there's still lots of things going on, as you can see this past weekend with the Sexton announcement that he's out until SMX, and then, of course, the penalty to Jet. And Unadilla this weekend, expect some better results from some guys. And, lots to get into today on the Fly Racing Moto 60 Show, 702-586-PULP. Give us a call, and let's talk some Unadilla, 702-586-PULP. We're giving away a pair of 100% goggles today. Thank you to those guys for coming on board. Seat Concepts, O'Neill Team, Home Lending, ASV, Get, Decal Works, Maxis, all on board with us as well. And, of course, the folks at Fly Racing. Cooper Webb, Fly Racing guy. RJ Hampshire's on the podium this weekend with Fly Racing. Use the code PULPMX when you're checking out to save, whether it's a Formula helmet, Zone Pro goggles, the Evo gear, Patrol, women's, kids, all of it. 2026 lines are out for the folks at Fly Racing. And if you punch in the code PULPMX, you will save with those guys directly from flyracing.com. Thanks to Fly Racing for coming on board. Some of their 2026 stuff is some of the nicest stuff out there for sure. So thank you, those guys. For coming on board. And again, 702-586-PULP. Give us a call. Zach Osborne, Michael Antonovich today on the show. And so let's get started. Taking your calls in the corner, holding things down there. Daddy Daycare, the Talon Taylor. What's up, Talon?
What's up, Steve?
How's your child today?
Quiet so far, so we're hoping to maintain that.
All right. Is there a chance we just burst out in tears?
There's always a chance of that with a 2-year-old, yeah.
All right. Sounds good. We can hear her. There we go. Working the camera and also working childcare, I'm sure. The Travis Marks. What's up, Mark?
I'm Uncle Trav today.
How are you?
I'm fantastic.
Thanks for coming in, buddy.
I'm
really great
here.
to have you
This
here.
is right where I want to be Thursday at 11 o'clock.
Is it really?
Absolutely.
That is so sweet of you.
I just love seeing your face, Stephen.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep.
This is what happens, people, when you run a business where you treat the employees like gold. Then they reciprocate right back to you, because that's how it works here at pulpmx.com. 702-586-PULP. Give us a call. Lots to get into. Again, Decal Works, decalmx.com. PulpMX25 is the code to save with those guys. They will design your graphics. They will get you the right numbers, the fonts you want, the logos you want. They'll you'll be able to prove it before you see it and put your sponsors all on it. Great company, great guys. And if you want those numbers that Kiefer really likes, where you don't got to put all the backgrounds on, you just slap the numbers on. They can do that as all. The ghost numbers, I think. So please check out decalmx.com. Decal Works. PulpMX25 is the code to save with those guys. And 100% as well. PulpMX30 is the code to save with 100%. San Diego-based company. Jet Lawrence running the goggles. Cooper Webb winning the Supercross Championship with the goggles, of course. They've got casual wear. They got mountain bike stuff. They got casual sunglasses, sport glasses, all of it. The code PulpMX30 saves you across the board with the guys at 100%. Doing big things with those guys. And, they got some cool photo shoots coming out as well from the folks at 100%. You'll see really soon. So thank you to 100% Maxis, Decal Works, Get, O'Neill Team Home Lending, ASV, Seat Concepts, 100%, flyracing.com on the show. Zach Osborne coming up as well as Michael Antonovich. We got a few lines open. One is Corey. Corey, what's going on, man? How are you?
How's it going? Long-time listener, love the show.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, just had a question. I know Osborne's got a couple takes on trying to limit some practicing and trying to figure out how we get these guys to
I would like
last
to
a little longer.
I think Zach's theory, and we're getting him on here shortly. I think Zach's theory is good, but how in the hell are you going to enforce that? So yeah.
I just wonder if these OEMs pay so much money to have these guys out there, and then we look at the Star Racing team. There's so many guys that are just hurt all the time.
Yeah,
but then they don't have any fill-in riders. You know what I mean? There has to be something that the AMA puts in the rules or something as far as contracts with these OEMs. As far as if you have these guys riding.
Well,
if you don't have them out on the track, then you got to fill the spot. You got to have fill-in riders.
That's a whole other thing. You'll notice the WSX guys have fill-ins all the time because they set up contracts with the teams. And so basically the teams will get paid per race to field 4 riders, 2 in each class. And they get paid to make sure there's 4 riders out there, 2 in each class. And then if somebody gets hurt, they will absolutely have to fill it in. So their pay is based on getting guys on the track. Now, fundamentally, we don't have anything like that in America. We have nothing. Remember, the energy drinks used to be big on fill-ins, right? We used to have tons of fill-ins. That's gone. So I don't know what exactly has been happening, why the energy drinks don't want fill-ins and all that kind of stuff. But we used to do it all the time. So honestly, Corey, we'd have to change the whole system. Like, we'd have to change everything about the way teams get paid, the way riders get paid, all of it, to ensure that these teams put riders on the track. Otherwise, they just don't bother, you know?
Oh, yeah, because, like, I remember, Phil filling in, our boy Phil, getting to ride the factory Yamaha back. So it's one of those things, too, where, I have all these amateurs with, like, example, Timmerman can't get a ride, no spot. But, they ride or race a couple times a year, and then next thing you know, get thrown right in, like Star Racing, and then
Phil
they
never
get blown out.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. And like Jalek Swoll announced he's out for the year, right? Sexton announced he was out for the year, or still the SMX, and AP, Jason Anderson, all of that stuff. Like, we just can't keep guys healthy. And everyone just shrugs your shoulders. I mean, Zach's theory is good, but it's not enforceable. You cannot enforce these guys not practicing during the week when they can just ride anywhere. But yeah, I don't know how it changes. How does it change? I have no idea. I don't know how to do that. But we continue to just see injuries, and then just get everyone just shrugs their shoulders,
Yeah, because the business of the game, it's all about making money. So they're not going to put less races out there, because they're going to say, you're just going to go to Paris, you're going to go to Australia.
Yep. No, that's what the promoters say. Like, I've had these conversations with very important people, and I'm like, there's got to be less races, man. We got to do something about these races. This is too much for these guys. It's too much for the sort of mechanics too, and the teams. And these guys, these VIP guys will be like, yeah, but dude, if we don't have races, Straight Rhythm will pop up, and Geneva, and Paris, and World Supercross, and these guys will get paid, and they'll all go there. And I don't have a fucking great comeback for that, So
yeah, I think that the whole like Osborne was talking about, like, if it's in the rules, like AMA makes some rules, comes out with stuff where you get X amount of hours for testing, X amount of hours for practicing, and the rest just train, ride a bicycle, do anything that prevents you from getting those midweek practice crashes and stuff like that.
Dude, you think somebody like Bobby Reagan at Star is going to like actually obey those rules? He doesn't even obey contracts now. He just signs guys and gets them out of contracts. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it would be such an honor system to do that.
Yeah.
But I don't see these teams doing it. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's just tough. But hey.
Yep.
Yeah, I love the show. I just wanted to see if you had any other ideas or thoughts.
No, I'm with you, man. I see the Alden was right. I think the season's too long. I can't believe they added more races. But they did add more money, which is good. But it's not good, man, when we have like one guy making it through the year. It's just not good.
Yeah, like back in the day, everyone would just go, McGrath, everyone would just go free ride and have fun, not really take any practicing seriously, and then they'd just show up on the weekends, and they're not blown out from doing stuff like that. But when you're just running your body to the limit, I mean, Plessinger not even being able to come to the races because he's sick, it's just tough, and we're just, breeding all these amateurs up to, get these spots, and then, not even lasting a long time.
Yeah.
No, it's tough, but all right.
All right, man. Well, thanks for the call.
It.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. All right, thanks, Corey. 702-586-PULP. Give us a call. We're having trouble getting hold of Zach Osborne, so we'll see what Zach go. But in the meantime, we got maybe better than Zach Osborne. From Course Heading, he was in studio not that long ago. Michael Antonovich, what's up, Anton?
What's up? But you cannot say I'm better than Zach. Zach is.
I didn't know
that's
you
the man.
Heard
that's
that or
the
not?
Man.
I didn't know.
I did.
Hey, by the way, what's the buzz in St. Louis right now about SMX? What's the buzz, Anton?
Dude, people are pumped. I did this fair race during the break.
Oh, I was being sort of sarcastic. Good to hear.
No, it's good. It's good. Like, did this fair race, very, very local on the dirt track at Highland Speedway, all that. But a lot of people that don't race all the time, but a lot of people that do ride, that have motorcycles and whatever, and everybody that I talked to was very excited about that coming. And then even people that I've talked to at like the Indiana races and stuff.
Kind of make a turn and then come back. It's not going to be...
It's not going to be anything crazy.
No,
I didn't think that either.
No.
The last time that we were there, obviously space is smaller, the footprint of the pits is smaller than it was, 2004, 2005 heyday, whatever. But they were getting through a pretty extensive renovation on that project. And I mean, as anybody knows, when Stan Kroenke and the St. Louis, Sports Authority and all of that went through their settlement, that money has been divvied out. The convention center does very well. They do have events at it all the time. The stadium does get used quite often for different things. The Battlehawks football team is big. So they've invested a lot of money back into the stadium. It just doesn't have like a major full-time tenant or like a corporate sponsor or anything. But when they finished that convention center, I was like, ooh, how are they going to just throw all this dirt out there? So I think it's just going to go underneath the stands how it does, do a little jog, and then come back in.
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right, let's get into this. So, obviously, Jet, the penalty for the starting gate, that's going to be rewritten, right? Has to be.
Has to be.
Okay.
I think that there's been enough things every year, and knowing, Mike has done a very good job. But Mike Pelletier at the AMA has done a good job being very open and vocal and forthcoming about what they're doing. And, they can't make a week-to-week change because then people will be like, that is an immediate bias. You got to wait until the end of the season to do it.
Yeah.
But they do take a lot of notes. Like I was in the Sky Club at the Portland Airport after Washougal, and even talking to him and John Starling about, like, you think that restart procedure and John running across the 40-man gate just looks so chaotic. But John told me, he's like, that's what I practice for every week. We knew that was what it was going to be. He's like, people think that was a mistake or something that we came up with on the fly, but we know what we have to do, and we know the other things that we don't need to do, and they're doing a really good job of vetting the rule book and trying to make changes as they go.
Yeah, I mean, I would worry a little about John catching a foot in a tippy toe in a rut, and falling, but yeah, whatever. It definitely worked better. It's got to be rewritten. I think it will be. And as we talked about on my shows, the rule was written really for the guy who jumps the gate, rips it out, and keeps going. That's what it was written for. Like, if you keep getting if you get a whole shot by just hitting the gate, knocking it out, and you keep going, then you should be penalized a lap or DQ'd, but not for what Jet did. No way. There's got to be some discretion. Yeah.
Yeah.
What sucks though too is the Sexton crash and the Jet penalty overshadowed Hunter Lawrence's first 450 motocross win. He's been so good. He's gotten on the podium so many times, and finally got the win, Anton.
And it was a good day. Hunter has done very well to race himself forward and get in those positions. And, even still the same thing of how you have to learn to do it. The more you run at the front, the more you understand and how you get through lap traffic, or you understand the pace and all of that. Because think of all the stuff that he had going on during the first moto, fending off Eli, Chase coming in late, all of that. But Hunter's done a great job, and you can definitely tell that he's picking up the nuance of what it takes to be a front runner. And he believes that he's supposed to be up there. It was one thing when he would say that to all of us, but he definitely believes that now, and he's showing that he is a front runner.
Yeah, it was really cool to see him win one. Obviously, like I said, a lot of things overshadowed what was going on with it, and maybe his win got lost a little bit. But yeah, awesome job by him. What do you make of Sexton's crash? The explanation from KTM, the post saying he's out until SMX. Take us through everything your thought on your end.
I know that you discussed it quite heavily this week, and I talked about it on the Track Talkers podcast too, but just so much mulch that was in that section, and I've said it also, very interested to see how the Europeans see that track and what they make of the terrain itself, from the hard pack spots to the sand to that organic material that's mixed in. But how different all of that stuff that's been added into that section is from what the heart of it is, which you can see on the rock hard double into the takeoff of the finish line. That's what that's supposed to be. I'm not surprised at all that something packed in somewhere. I really am not. Now, I also said, though, that I wouldn't be surprised if, his tip over at the top of the hill prior to that maybe jam some hydraulic stuff in, or if there's a bit, there's so many things that go on, but such a wild crash, and then to see it just keep catching over and over and over again really did state that there was probably more issues than just one little thing that they had to decompress.
Yeah, the way they wrote it is basically, I mean, they didn't blame Jay Dungy, the mechanic. They didn't blame Chase. But, yeah, his finger being on the front brake and then locking it because he was coming in too quick, with no rear brake. Chase had to know that was going to go sideways when he locked the front brake, but I guess instead of launching 30 feet, that's what he had to do, or he didn't let go soon enough. But like, you can't hit your front brake in the air. That's not good.
No. And I mean, like, I've played before, like, what happens when you hit your front brake in the air? Yeah, you don't do that.
No, but I'm just surprised a guy the caliber of Chase, didn't think of that or didn't let go before he took off, or, you know what I mean, or anything. Like, yeah, but.
But then, like, even to all of that, like, that is such a heat of the moment decision that he had to make to do that. Oh my God, I don't have this. You're going into that jump, and you could Seth Winslow that thing all the way to the mechanics area. You know what I mean? Like, the fact that he had enough of that, like, if this is the worst that came out of no rear brake after just passing Hunter, knowing like, okay, I gotta go now. It's pretty astounding. It does add another one, like we've all said, to Chase's history of everything that's gone on. But then again, like, every athlete's got something like that. Every athlete has something where you're like, you can see a history or a pattern of them in these certain situations where they have that, and how they bounce back from one to the next is so interesting. The thing that bums me out the most about it is I was so excited to see how they were going to go these last 3 rounds of outdoors, because, Jet's got the championship done. He just needs to do what he needs to do to get it through. But Chase's win at Washougal, that break to really get things going, figuring out where they were, and then winning the first moto, I was like, oh, dude, it's heads up these last 4. I can't wait. And then for it to come literally crashing down like that was pretty unfortunate. And then it kind of does take a lot of the steam, I think, out of the SMX stuff. Like, the seeding thing will be there, but then what happens from in that? You know what I mean? Like, 4 more motos, another bit of time off, where your headspace is. I really want to see a nice 3-4 guy fight for this to really see what it does, so it doesn't just come down to the last race, whoever's got a massive points lead. Like, what really could happen with the SMX deal? But it's just a bummer to see Chase out.
I'm with you on that, and it was getting exciting for sure, but it is what it is. When you look at the Nashville crash and you look at the Paula crash, you look at this one, you're like, 3 crashes that you're just like, what the hell? Now, obviously, throttle stuck at Nashville. Paula was neutral, apparently. This one was the rear brake, too much front. But, they're all explanations. But you're just like, you just go like, elite guys don't do that. It's all explainable, but it just doesn't happen, So, all right.
The other thing to point out on that, too, you can see all those things. Like, you could have someone make a mistake, and they can just write it off, like, oh, I did this, or the front end slipped out, or whatever. In the day, now that there's so much video and there's so much data, KTM knows exactly what the bike did anywhere. In the Nashville incident, like you mentioned, when they have an open air stadium, they have a GPS, system that's mounted to that, so they know exactly what the bike is doing at any point on the track. Same thing for any outdoor national. They know what the brakes are doing, the suspension doing, the engine revs, the transmission, all of that. That is so much to see what that happens. And like, this is not to discredit anybody, not to cause any drama or anything. I would love to know how these teams take it when a rider tells them something and then they spin the laptop and they're like, well, then explain that. Like, can you explain that? Because it's there. There is no more denying it. There is also many factors, between like holes and jump faces, all that. But when it's there and it's concrete proof, you really do have to wonder what it makes those discussions turn into.
Well, sometimes people do starts and they think they're wide open, and then they see that they're 78%. So, on the data. So sometimes that happens. And like at Washougal.
That's why I'm just all analog. I just want to go off vibes.
My vibes were telling those guys at Washougal that I was wide open, and then Lars produced the data. And then I really hated that. That wasn't good. All right, lots to get into here on the Fly Racing Moto 60 show. Use the code PulpMX to save with Fly Racing. Maxxis tires, by the way. Jeremy McGrath developed these tires. They got a scoop now as well from the gift from the Moto Science Nerds to you. MXSTs and new soft intermediate to hard terrain tires. PRMX guys use it, as do the International Supercross Race Team with Max Miller. Maxxis.com for more information. Logan Carnow, also a Maxxis ride, although he had a crappy year. All right, let's get to the phone calls here. We do have Luke's on 3. What's up, Luke?
Hey, how's it going? You guys hear me all right?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, so I want to preface my story with a question. Are all these riders in control of their social media accounts?
Good question. I would say no. I think Chase has somebody that does his. Lawrence is used
When
to.
you say control,
Yeah. What do you? Yeah.
how do you mean?
Yeah. Right. So like today, in regards to your tweet from Eli,
Yeah.
do you think that was direct from Eli or like social media manager?
No, that's direct from me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah.
So this is circa 2013 or 14, back when Eli was a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite rider growing up, Chad Reed.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it was one of his first couple years, and right-handed 180, and he rode Chad Reed up high, and he went down. Me being 14, 15, I fired off a tweet to Eli, calling him a dirty rider, and, Reed's going to give him one. Got a couple of retweets, couple likes. Then I looked, and Eli blocked me.
Yeah. Oh, that happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
it sparked out.
I don't have a problem with a rider tweeting me. I tweet about these riders. I don't have a problem with it. It's all fun. It's all fine with me. Eli's tweet was still a little bizarre, but I don't have an issue with it. So whatever. Yeah. But if you thank you. But if you criticize somebody like I mean, I get that all the time. Like if you disagree with something on me on social media, no problem. I will never block you on that. But as soon as you enter an insult or a name calling, I'm just going to block you. Like, you don't know me, and like if I give an opinion, that's an opinion. It's not even a right or wrong fact. And you're going to call me a name over that? Like, I just fucking block you, which is, I feel, like a good strategy. But, I don't know. Eli's tweet was a little bizarre to me. Also, he didn't use the hashtag correctly, Anton. Skipped Redbud. That's not no one's searching for that, Eli.
I know that you said in the review show that there was people from St. Louis loving it. I didn't know that thing happened until like Sunday afternoon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had no idea. I had literally no idea.
I thought you were
any of it.
I thought you were.
No. Because even when I heard about it, and I was like, it was in between the motos. Like,
yeah, dude,
what?
It was like 10 minutes after the moto.
Because when that was going on, I was shooting the WMX race, but then I was immediately up doing the helmet at Yamaha, and I never did I know that it was just net banging, in the RV.
Yeah, well, I don't think the moto went really well for him. I think his pants broke, and then he got.
No,
passed.
they did. They did. You can definitely see that they were falling down.
Yep.
And and that he has a history of that. Eli's got a really interesting. If you really pay attention to it, he has way different A-Stars gear than the other guys do.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you have him and Jet lined up side by side, they might be in the same design, completely different chassis.
Yep.
But then Eli has little things that I've noticed that he is very particular about. Just this, he only rides in, and I hate to say this, but Calvin Klein underwear. I've noticed that if his jersey comes untucked, you always see the same waistband.
Right. Okay. 702-586-PULP. Michael Antonovich on the line. We got Jim with a fantasy question. What's up, Jim?
Hey, buddy. Calling from Canada. I know a couple of years ago you lost a bunch of the states due to gambling rules, but did that happen to Canada too, or what happened to Pulp in Canada?
Yeah, same thing. International. We lost all international stuff. So Europe and Canada and everything else. Unfortunately. We have tried to get back into Canada, and we could maybe do Ontario, but it's really restrictive still. It's really hard to do. It's a lot of money. But we've looked into it.
Vancouver Island for us.
Yeah, we've looked into it, man, for sure. We'd love it if we could, but it's not looking good.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Jim. Appreciate it. 702-586. We're still going to weigh a pair of 100% goggles on the show. ASV Inventions celebrating 25 years as the innovator of the original unbreakable adjustable motocross lever. And the latest colorway of the MX Pro Pack Plus is now available in red, white, and blue. They're accepting racer support for 2026, amateur and pro. Go to Hook It, MX sponsor, directly through the ASV website. They've tested and used by AMA Pro racers. Code PulpMX, all caps, asvinventions.com. PulpMX, all caps to save. Great company and great levers as well. All right, Anton. We haven't heard from Zacho, so hope he's all right. But he was supposed to be here, so you might be in for the long haul here, Zacho.
Yeah, we're good.
I asked you for surprises in each class for you, something that either good or bad. It can be on the negative side also if you want, but give us some surprises for you, with 2 rounds to go in this series.
Yeah. I mean, I not to just hype the guy up, but Jacob's performance through this summer has been great, and then seeing him just be steady Eddie through all of it, being the only guy to do all of the races thus far. Again, even last year was banged up going into SMX, but I don't really think he missed anything in 24. But he's been good seeing how that's gone on, seeing, again, the same thing of watching a rider firsthand make the steps through progress. It had been one thing for him to be a good, fast 250 guy, get pole positions, all of that. It's another thing to win a 450 heat race, think you're in contention for a 450 main event, all of that stuff. So to see that has been really good. But the other thing that is so surprising that comes with that is how few guys are able to put together the whole season. And to what your caller that opened the show said, there's got to be some kind of give somewhere, but then at the same time, racers are going to race, and if there's money to be made, they're going to go do World Supercross, and they're going to do special appearances and all that stuff. They're all going to do it. But my thing is there really needs to be more of an incentive for the guy that does all of that. There needs to be you can't have a championship within a championship, but a bonus would be awesome, just to show that kind of consistency a reward.
Yeah, it's we just uploaded from on Instagram now, Alden Baker from Monday night, who basically was like, season's too long. I don't know what they're doing. And I agree with him. I think of it too, Anton, from the riders and sorry, not from the mechanics and the team managers. I just look how hard those guys work, man. Look how much they got to do. It's insane these days, So yeah,
it's definitely an interesting time. I wondered after everything stopped and then it got going into such an abbreviated stance in 2020, what will it be like now? Will it go one way? Will it go the other? To see it go to this level and have more events than ever and all that stuff is great because we need it and it does make money. But then not to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but the slice of the pie needs to get divvied out a little bit better. But in all of that stuff, how it's taken on everybody. The way that we travel and the way that we get to race, we're very lucky in that regard because there's other series that race just as much as we do that are just roughing it. And to step back and see what we do compared to other ones, we could definitely learn a lot if we just got our focus off of what happens within those 17 Supercrosses and 11 Nationals and 3 SMX races. Because there's so much other racing that happens that we could be like, oh, we could lighten the load here or we could do this there because we're doing so much.
Yeah, no, it's a lot, man, for sure. I don't know exactly how to enforce it. I don't know how to change it. Look, the promoters up the money in the purses. They also have the SMX money. They're sharing the TV money. They're probably still taking a big cut. Don't get me wrong. These are for-profit enterprises. So I don't know if throwing more money at the riders and teams can help. I have no idea. It's just, it's a lot.
I said it on your show when I was there. Money is great. Money is all that. But everybody needs to know what the reason for going for the money is. Is it a championship? Is it this or is it that? The thing that it kind of lacks right now is, yes, there is structure within a 31-race series and all of these things. But what's the goal? What's the 5, 10, 15-year plan of this thing that everybody would then buy into of oh, I get it. This is why I'm getting on a flight every Thursday night. Oh, I get it. This is why I'm doing this all the time. If there was an understanding, and it's getting better too, same thing, I don't ever, for us, I would never, ever, ever expect a revenue share of that stuff to come down to the media because then you wade into totally different waters of the bought and paid for thing where everybody always wants to just immediately slam it.
Yeah.
But there is none of that. Feld is not paying me anything. Nobody's paying me anything. And the same thing for you. The way that you're worked within the Racer X deal and all of that stuff is, whatever. But for everyone to understand, hey, this is what we're aiming for. This is the messaging that we're trying to do. This is the goal. This is the look. This is this. And everybody getting in for it would make going through 31 races a year in this capacity a lot better. Because when it gets a little aimless around round 24 and people just kind of start taking their eye off the ball is when the grumbling happens, when shit starts falling apart, and when, unfortunately, guys get injured.
Yeah. Yeah, I look at just, AP and Jason Anderson are out with just sickness. They're just worn down, right? They're just worn down for whatever reasons, and they don't have a broken foot or a broken thumb or anything else. And all of us just go, yeah, we get it. No one's like, wait, what? You're not even, you're just sick? we all understand that because of how hard it is and how hard these guys work during the week. It's not a surprise. And that's kind of weird that we all just shrug and accept it because it is true, So maybe that should tell us something. So, Todd's on one. What's up, Todd? Thanks for calling the show. What's going on?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. First off, I just wanted to kind of glaze Anton a little bit. Steve, I think you should have Anton as a weekly caller on this show.
Okay.
I think he's one of the best moto journalists that we have. I miss hearing him weekly on, like, Swap Moto and stuff. I know he's been on, Seven Deuce Deuce's podcast, but he's a little much for me. So, yeah, I think you need to get Anton on the payroll and have him on weekly. I really appreciate his insight and his perspective on things. So
this isn't your cousin, is it, Anton, or is it Kyle?
No,
Kyle with a voice.
I appreciate this. Right. No, dude, Kyle would never for me.
Another question that I had though is, I'm trying to Star Yamaha. They're always poaching all these young kids from other teams and everything. Is Mitch kind of shooting himself in the foot by always having these older guys on his team that keep getting hurt, like the McAdoos? I don't know if I would say Hammaker because he's turned it up this year, kind of staying healthy. But I almost feel like he's shooting himself in the foot by not getting these young and upcoming riders and losing them to Star because he's always holding a spot on his team for these older guys that keep getting hurt every year. And I feel like that's part of the reason he hasn't won a championship in so long. Instead of giving and developing some of these younger riders, he just keeps giving these older guys a chance. And I mean, I get it. You got to give these older guys a chance, but I mean, for how long? How many championships has McAdoo completed or Kitchen or any of these guys? And I'm huge McAdoo and Kitchen fans, but just, I don't know, just food for thought.
What do you think, Anton?
Well, I think it's an interesting, when we try to compare this to a traditional sport, it's just two schools of thought. Do you go for, a college approach where you're just trying to pull these kids out of, freshman year, out of the draft, whatever, or do you go with the experience mix of things? I think the other thing that happened with Mitch is he got in he's in the middle of a cycle right now with those guys where he put a lot of trust and a lot of time in with them, and when you're right there on the cusp of seeing how good it could be, how do you not stick it out? And the other thing was, realistically, who was there? Who were you going to kick out of the Team Green program that had been coming up and had done their time? And watching what Team Green has gone through in the last little bit, too. But I see where people say that all the time because I look at the Star Truck and I'm like, wow, that looks like a lot. Because not only is it a lot of riders, it's a lot of mechanics, it's a lot of everything.
Oh, yeah.
And I really do think, the college outlook is the way to do it, because when I go by that 250 truck, it's all younger mechanics. It's all younger engine or suspension guys or whatever. It's dudes that want to have a lot of fun, and it feels like a fun, young locker room vibe. The minute you get to the 450 truck, it's all business. And Mitch's truck kind of feels the same way, because it's older guys that have done a lot of road time, or it's really, really seriously minded young kids or guys in their late 20s or whatever that have been together, and it's only a handful of them, and they're in the shop all the time, just like the Star guys are in the shop all the time, but their playful demeanor is way, way different than the Star demeanor is.
Yeah, I think, obviously, Todd, Drew Adams had to really fight to get on the pro team. He had to go do a tryout, Mitch wasn't just come on in. From what I understand, Gordon's leaving for Star because there was no path for him for pros. Timmerman, right? There's no real spot for him at PC. When you talk about injured riders, you have good points. And, he's had some criticisms for exactly what you said, Todd, over the years. He's had some criticisms of that. And, Yamaha at Star can tell these guys, hey, here's your path to the pros. Well, Team Green can't do that. It's still Mitch Payton's team. Now, they all talk and they all work together and try to make the best solution. But ultimately, Mitch's idea of holding Drew Adams back, which he kind of wanted to do, looks kind of silly now, right? Drew looks great. Obviously, he got hurt as well. But, so maybe there needs to be a little bit of adjustment of thinking there, So, Todd, do you want some goggles? You want 100% pair of 100% goggles?
That would be amazing. My son would love them.
All right. Okay. Well, stay on the line, man. We'll get your info, okay? Thanks for calling.
Okay, cool.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, guys.
Yep, thank you. Fly Racing, Moto 60 code PulpMX, code saves at Fly Racing, by the way. Seat Concepts, Factory Beta, Phoenix, Ampro Yamaha, SLR Honda. Seat Concepts, ride the world with them. Pulp25 code saves it at Seat Concepts. They've been saving assets since 2009. They're super big in the dual sport world, but they got Moto now. From the Race 2.0 to the Comfort Series, proprietary foam and handcrafted seat shapes work amazing. Code is Pulp25 to save from Seat Concepts. So thank you to those guys for coming on board. Also, Get and Athena. HRC Honda using the Get products on their 250s and 450s, and ECUs, two-stroke CDIs available as well. The Athena side has big bores and replacement cylinder kits and all of that. And if you want a discount from Get and Athena, email the contact form on pulpmx.com. We'll pass it on, and you can save at Get and Athena. All right, Anton, big news coming in. Ken Roczen's coming back. Obviously, he's coming back to get some SMX points. Unadilla is a good track for him. Where do you think he slots in?
With the field right now, like 5, 7, 8. I think that'd be pretty good. I mean, maybe even a little higher for 4, 7. To take that 8th away because more guys are out. Kenny should be completely fresh, and he knows this track because he's come back at this one almost every time for every summer little standout that he's done. So I think Kenny should be good, and then it's just kind of interesting to see what this will do for the SMX points too, because you could tell guys like, hey, I need a warm up, but I also just need to reconfirm where I'm at.
Yeah, I can't look at the point situation. Kenny can't really move up much, but yes, like just gate drops, right? Just gate drops. I don't see him getting into that lead group of Jet, Hunter, Eli, maybe RJ, but I think he can beat Dylan and Mookie and those guys, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think like the RJ Ken battle that we might end up watching is going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Just completely two different riding styles, all of that stuff. But then again, Ken's burst speed in those first 3.5 minutes, that'll be great too. That can put him in front of anybody, and then watching how the other guys have to work with that. That's the variable.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. Cole Davies coming in too. I understand his outdoor skills aren't quite on par with his indoor skills, but seeing Cole Davies will be good.
Unadilla would be a fun track to make your first pro national. Like, Roos has got to be brutal and all of that, but God, that looks like just such a fun place to bank and just like let that bike eat.
Mm-hmm.
Way more fun than a place like Southwick or Budds Creek. Budds Creek would be fun, but it's just that valley. Unadilla just looks like you could just let it rip.
Yeah, I agree. I think I don't like going to Unadilla as far as the travel, but once I get there, I love watching it. Like standing there, you can see the whole track in front of you, So I like Unadilla that way. It's line selection so important, unless it's really muddy and then you get slot car racing, but generally line selection is so important at Unadilla, like just making apexes and sweeping turns and, keeping speed up. It's a technical track that way. I think that's why we see a lot of Europeans do well there.
Yeah. I mean, same thing for you. It is a little bit of a slog to get to it, but man, it's nice. And even that drive from Syracuse over in the morning, like when you do it right, it's beautiful in its own way.
We got Zacho. We found Zacho. He's on hold right now. So Anton, I'll let you go. Thanks for pinch hitting here, but give us your winners this weekend. And I mean, you can just say Jed and Deegs.
I mean, that is like from everything I've been watching, from everything this summer, that's the way it's looking. But, man, these Joe Hayden battles have been great. That was really fun to watch last week, and I think as Joe finds the edge and is not taking it the same way, showing like, I'll put a fight up, I don't care. That's awesome. And then not to just like, get into the Eli thing after everything you had last week, but he looked good. He looked, for all things considered, he looked very feisty through the weekend. To be as sick as he was and all those issues, and the first moto and still do it, and then second moto was good. Like, I think that these last couple could be fun to watch Eli do it. Weather looks great. Everything looks fun.
Yeah, I think
that's a brutal man's track. I would think that Eli could be a big step up this weekend.
I think, like, looking at his second moto, his drop back in Moto 1 was definitely more due to the pants, looking at Moto 2. Like, even though he wasn't feeling great, it still got him on the box, So,
he was like, he's still Eli. Like, for all things considered and all those, what everybody wants to just talk about or whatever, he was putting the pressure on Hunter at one point in one of those motos last week, and I was watching Hunter look back like, where's he at, where's he at, and then start stumbling into mistakes. And when that guy is behind you, you know he's behind you.
Yeah.
And he will always have that. You know, you can take anything else away, but he still has that fear that he does put in something. Not fear, but that, it's him.
Yeah, it's fucking Eli. Yeah, no, exactly. All right, Anton, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Enjoy Unadilla. All right, man. Thank you.
Yep. See you guys.
All right, see ya. That's Michael Antonovich from Course Heading and many other things. And we'll move right into our usual guest here. We found him, the Zach Osborne. What's up, Zacho?
Brother, I am so sorry. I came home from the track completely fried and fell asleep.
Wow.
Not gonna lie.
I like the honesty. Yeah.
It was super hot today. Went riding. Actually rode the two-stroke today for a little while. Had some fun.
Okay.
And, yeah, dude, it's just been brutal hot. So I had some lunch and laid down on the couch for, like, what I thought was maybe 15 or 20 minutes. Yep,
Okay.
missed everything. And, yeah, here we are.
Well, I'm glad you're all right. You sound like you're in a bit of a submarine, so I don't know what you're using to talk through or whatever.
How about that? Is that better?
There we go. Okay, lots to get into with you, Zacho. First up, though, Unadilla this weekend. You went 4-4 the last time on a 450. You got third overall. What's the secret to Unadilla?
You better have some serious corner speed.
Yep.
And you better like long ruts most of the time. It's just how it is these days. That 4-4 day, I was super mediocre. Did not really deserve to be on the podium. I think I was like a minute off the pace in both motos, and somehow managed the podium. But yeah, it's a man's track, brutal conditions 99% of the time. I think it's one of the best tracks we have on the schedule, probably second or third in my book. But, yeah, great track.
Did you hear what I said when you were on hold when I was talking to Anton? Apex, sweeping, keeping your corners open, carrying your speed, like you mentioned, corner speed. It's
Yep, all of that.
Yeah, and that's why I think we see the Euros do well, you know?
Yeah, I think so too. A couple different sections come to mind for me is where the whoops used to be down in the bottom, like that long right into that straightaway up the hill. That you got to be super fast there, and then down after the sky shot, I kind of think they've taken some of the riders' advantage out of there without having that little double thing that they used to have. But you had to either scrub or jump after that tight left right. I think that was a little cooler than just going wide open up the hill, but. Either way, yeah, it's a great track.
It is, absolutely. Ken Roczen's coming back. Where do you put him in? Where do you slot him in? I mean, if you told me Kenny got a whole shot and led some laps, I would not be surprised.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's Ken Roczen. If there's anything we've learned from calling him good or bad or indifferent going into a weekend, it's that he's going to surprise you, or he has the capability to surprise you. I've seen him riding a few times at the Sandbox. I think he's in a good spot. I think he'll be right in there in that like Dylan group, 5 to 7 or 8.
Yeah, I think so too.
But also, shows up and wins a moto. I'm not going to be like, oh my God, what happened?
Chase Sexton's crash and all of that. Another like sort of dramatic moment for Chase Sexton and KTM, Zacho.
Yeah, and like it went. It wasn't that bad, but like it slapped him hard, dude. It was a heavy crash in the end. It seemed like he was going to kind of tip over, and then like when he went down, he smoked the ground.
Yeah, it was a good one, and then it sounds like the front brake was jammed after that with mud.
With mud, is that kind of the official word? Because that's what I thought. I thought he kind of like drug it off the face. And then it was locked up afterwards with mud, but
KTM's explanation was he lost his rear brake from some debris, mulch or whatever. So he went into that single, didn't have rear brake like he needed, grabbed too much front, went sideways, went down. When a bike hit the ground, now more debris got into the front master cylinder and stuck that on.
Yeah, that seems very plausible to me. That whenever I first watched the crash, that's what I thought happened. Because if you come into a jump like that where you have a lot of speed, and if it weren't so ready, it'd be typically kind of a scrub jump. You kind of can take it all out with the wheels. But if it gets like that and you get up the face, you're gonna pull the front brake out of like, oh crap. And I think that must have been what happened with the rear brake not working. And then exactly what I kind of thought when I watched the crash, but I didn't know if there had been sort of official word.
Yeah, there was official word. How about Rick? It's been coming,
man.
Yep.
Hey, we can go back like maybe 10 weeks ago, and I can give you an "I told you so," but I won't be that guy.
Well, because you've been wrong too, Zach, with the Eli stuff. So let's just balance. It all balances out. But yeah, I think after the opener, if I remember right, I'm like, where can he get to? What can he do? And you're like, I think he can be on a box. I believe you said that.
Yeah, and I think his bike needs to be considerably better. Like when I watch the Hondas comparatively, and even Eli's bike, I just think Rick's bike needs to be better. But I'm sure they're working on it.
So he got some forks from MXGP.
Yeah.
But now he said that it's and they're working well. They're not fading. They're holding up better.
Yeah.
But now the shock needs an issue. Shock's an issue.
Yeah. Yeah, I was talking to him about it the other day, and that's what he was telling me, is that, like, he just has issues with it fading really quick. And I mean, yeah, from experience, we didn't really have those issues when I was there. But
I never,
obviously everything changes a lot.
In all my time, and he's got air stuff, but I've never heard of forks fading. I never really heard riders be like, forks, shock, yes, but.
Right, shock happens often, but forks, that's kind of what I was saying to him. Like, how is that happening?
Right.
But Rick's a hard worker. Rick is, just kind of a journeyman, and I love his fight and his grit. And he's the one guy that you can always count on that's going to give you 100% and then some, possibly too much, every time he's out there.
No, you're right. It's been a really cool story to see, and like he said, he's still working on his bike too, still figuring it out. Zach Osborne here, code PulpMX to save at Fly Racing, by the way, and thank you to ASV 100%, Seat Concepts, O'Neill Team Home Lending, Maxis, Decal Works, Get. All the codes to save are on pulpmx.com and then pulpmxshow.com as well. Go there and use them, and thank you for everything you guys do with the codes. Appreciate it. Switching to 250s. Deegan and Shimoda. Great race. I was really surprised Joe got caught in Moto 1. I thought he had it, but credit to Deegs.
Yeah, same. I mean, I think Deegs is still just a little bit better level than everybody else, but Joe has seemed to catch him a little bit, and the gaps aren't quite as big, and seems to have a little bit more fight in him, which is cool to see. It's typically hard to make that gain in a season, especially with a guy like Hayden who's super confident and fit and kind of the whole package. Joe's made a big difference in this season, percentage-wise, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been really cool to see those two are sort of emerging. And like next year, when we in the media are doing our preseason picks, I mean, Joe's going to be the title favorite, right? Has to be.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that, kind of watching the race the other day, and how does he handle that pressure? I think he was prepared for the first time ever to handle that pressure this year. We were kind of cheated out of it with his injury during Supercross, but I think he's finally ready to take on and shoulder that.
Yeah, I think so too. O'Neill Team Home Lending, $1,500 towards your closing costs. Just mention Pulp, and you can do that. Craig's been in business for a long time, working with Dean Wilson. So if he did work with Dino, he's got good rates because it's Dean.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a mortgage expert. Whether you're considering refi, consolidating your debt, preparing to purchase a home, you got a vacation home like Mark's, and you want to get another one, O'Neill Team are there to guide you through the mortgage process. MLS number 1942, $1,500 towards credit towards closing costs. Craig, 619-535-7477 or o'neillteamhomelending.com on the web. Zach Osborne here on the show. We got Kelly on one about MXON. What's up, Kelly? Thanks for calling.
Yep. Actually, Chase Sexton. He's kind of my first on my list to talk to you about. Sure. He's one of the reasons I watch Supercross and motocross, because it seems like he finds a new way to fuck up just about every other race. And
that's a little harsh. That's a little harsh. Every other race, Kelly. I mean, he's got championships.
Yeah, I know. But the Supercross championship he won, I think that season he threw it on the ground about 4 or 5 times. And,
he's got some moments.
He would have easily won it if he hadn't done that. This past season he didn't or Cooper didn't win that championship. Chase lost it.
I would argue with that on that one. I would argue Coop's speed, Coop's qualifying times, Coop's this. You look at a Philly race that he just straight up beat Chase at. Like I'd agree with you in some cases, Kelly, for sure. But when it comes to Supercross this past year, like yes, just Chase hit the gate, but he did come back for I think a third in that one. There wasn't as many Chase moments, and I think Coop deserves more credit. In my eyes.
But the one race that he had no business trying to catch Cooper, and he fell and threw the other way.
All right. Anything else, Kelly? Yeah.
Yeah, the MXON. How do those promoters with a good conscience ask all these guys to come there and work for free? That's just beyond, that's beyond belief.
It's amazing, man. There's so much money being made by In Front at that race, and so much money being made everywhere. There is a small purse, Kelly, but it ain't much. Zacho, do you remember getting anything?
No, I always spent money, but I did it gladly. I don't really care about that stuff.
But Zach, when everyone else is making money, shouldn't the riders make some money?
Yeah, sure. I mean, whatever. Like I said, for me, both years that I did it cost me about $25,000, and I did it gladly, and wasn't there for prize money. I don't think anyone is.
Okay, well,
how about this? Let all the spectators in for $1, and
well, I don't know about that, Kelly. That's pretty unrealistic. But I will say that it's amazing, and that's why I'm on record. And you can go back and look. If a rider wants to skip the Motocross of Nations for reasons of testing or reasons for whatever, I'm perfectly fine with it. I get it. You not only have to extend your season and ride more, you have to spend money out of your pocket. All of that, I get it, and I would never come down on someone who says that they don't want to do it. Zacho sounds like he would, but I would not. I get it, man, for sure. Thanks, Kelly. Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it. Zacho, but speaking of that, Chase, Deegs, Eli, it's awesome. Great team.
Yeah, great team. I think it's really good. I like it. I think we have a great chance at winning. It's a hard race to win, though, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of broke it down on Monday night a little bit with Lewis and Kellen, and and basically, Jed and Hunter are kind of a saw-off with Chase and Eli, but then Deegs and Kyle Webster, I'll take Deegs, any day, and everybody will.
I agree, but stranger things have happened.
Oh, yeah. No,
Especially at the Nations.
No, pressure is big, right? Like, you've done it twice, so.
I will say that I hate the new Ironman. Ironman from 17, 18 era is way better.
You're not alone in that. Riders were bitching after the race, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's bummed. It was arguably the best track we had in 2017 in America, and it's definitely not that now.
Nope, I agree. They've they've gotten rid of some things. They shortened it. I don't know what they did before the finish there, little few turns before the finish.
Straightened it out pretty much.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah, it's not good. Zacho, but speaking of Europeans and Unadilla and doing well and sweeping your turns and all of that, Jorge Prado had a nice Ironman. He passed some guys, 5th overall. He did lose 4th on the last lap, 4th overall, but Unadilla should be do I think he gets any closer? Probably not, but a 4th or a 5th overall again for Prado. I think he can build on it, Unadilla.
Yeah, better. I mean, that is something you can build on, but we said that after some other race too. I don't remember which one, Southwick, but we knew it was an outlier because of the sand. I just still need to see a little bit more. Just battle for a little bit or something in the front, not in that 5th place range where you're 45 seconds down.
Like a whole shot and then battle, and then maybe get 4th, but like whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, be 10 seconds down or 15 seconds down. That would be a big win at this point. It's getting better. Am I not pressing the panic button? No, but seems to be headed in the right direction, I hope.
Yeah, I think so. They got some new motor settings that they enjoyed, so that's good. So we'll see what he does. It's such a good track for Euros, like Kenny.
Yeah, it is.
So
it is.
Marvin was always great there, and we saw so many guys over the years just show up and do well there. But all right, Fly Race and Moto 60 Show. Use code PulpMX to save with those guys. And again, use all the codes. O'Neill Team Home Lending, $1,500 closing costs. Maxis, Decal Works, Get, ASV, 100% Seat Concepts, all on board with us. All right, Zacho, we could just go Deegs and Jet if you want.
I don't know. Why it's boring. Like, I do this every week. and I did that last weekend, and it wasn't Deeks and Jet, so might as well just throw out a wild card. I think Hunter backs it up.
Okay. Well, Jets lost 2 in a row. Jets lost 2 in a row.
Yeah, let's make it 3 with Hunter winning another one.
Yeah.
And then 250, I think Deeks wins.
Yeah, it's
But I think Davies is going to be. Somewhere in the hunt, like 3 to 6 or something.
For people I talk to, his outdoor skills aren't anywhere near as good as Supercross skills. Yep, and it's his first race, and yep. So
maybe I kind of experienced a little bit. He was on my team at the combine I did last year, and I was, to see him do what he does in Supercross, I'm like, man, that wasn't quite what I witnessed. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong.
Also, by the way, Pierce Brown already back and out again. Damn, Pierce, that sucks.
What did he do, or what happened?
Crashed in Moto 1 and just tweaked something and decided to sit out. Yep. Yep.
Brutal.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. Tough deal for that. And Anstey's coming back for SMX only, and Jalek Swole's out for the rest of the season, and Anderson and Sexton. It's a meat grinder, Zacho. If only we could monitor the practice habits of these guys.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
JT and you going at it in the group text. Yeah.
Yeah, well, like we ended up saying, we've had very different experiences as far as injuries go, practice and racing. So I think that's kind of a huge hang up. And I get where JT's coming from. I'm not saying that my solution is a solution or is perfect or anything, but it's a starting point. It's something different. It's a change. It's an effort to make a change for the riders and whatnot. So I get it.
Also, Zacho, people who have been tweeted at by an angry Eli Tomac, we meet on Wednesday nights. So you're in that group.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, I'm that guy.
He's very angry, isn't he?
Occasionally.
Good times. All right, Zacho, thanks, buddy. Beta life, and please enjoy the 2-stroke. And yeah, man. So you're coming out to Cali a couple weeks then, huh?
Yep, coming out to Cali for we're having a trials day.
Yeah.
Where all of us off-road guys are going to do some trials riding, and then back to Day in the Dirt. That's my next sort of event.
Awesome, man.
Beta.
Well, thanks for coming on tonight. Appreciate it, Zacho. Thanks.
Yep, thank you. Sorry,
you're good. Thanks, buddy. That's Zach Osborne, everybody, from Beta, and we thank Zach for coming on. Anton as well. Fly Racing, Moto 60 Show, Maxxis, Decal Works, Get, O'Neill, Home Team, Lending. I think that's the wrong. Is that the right outro?
I think the outro was always good. It was the intro.
Okay. All right, everybody. Listen, good work, Talon.
Thank you, Steve.
Great work, Marks.
Wow. I don't
Thanks
know how to respond to that.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. See you next week.